Welcome back, everybody, to the Identical Drop podcast. Here we are. We're in the studio. We got cameras. We got cameras right here.
First ever. I mean, I'd say it's 70% there. You know, we got the table that I made.
We need to find some different
rack.
We need to find some different buck placement because in these camera angles you can't see the bucks. You know?
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to go back there. I'm thinking that bear sign we have over there. I'm gonna be getting my antelope back. That's gonna be behind us. Maybe the mule deer I just shot.
I could bring a buck down here too.
We could put we
got lots of bucks, man. But we're a little overdue, folks. And the reason, if you're listening to it, we are filming it. We got camera set up, so it's going to be, these episodes are always going to be on our YouTube now. You guys can see what we're talking about. You can see how much weight we're gaining every week. Drinking our Busch Lights. No, I'm actually going on a little beer break.
Why is that?
Just cause like now
for mind or body?
Body. I don't have a problem, by the way, but
so I was getting at.
I like to have like let's say a general week. All right, I'll have a couple beers watching a football game, watching the Huskers lose on every Saturday.
How many on Saturday? At least 4.
No, I'm not a 4 guy.
1,
2 to 3.
Okay, we'll do 3.
And then probably at least another
2 on Sunday at least.
If we have family dinner, I might have. I've kind of been going down to a 1 beer.
You did Maker last time.
Yeah, but like during the week, I have like from Monday to Friday, I have like maybe 2, 3. But I'm like, and that's not. I mean, I'm.
What if there's a party Friday night?
Well, I don't go to parties. I have kids.
That's true.
But I'm still like, so I'm like, that's not that much beer drinking, but I'm like, I still could.
You binge.
Yeah. I still could cut back a little bit. And I was just talking to Mac how I'm like, I've been in really good shape throughout my life, and now I'm
drinking
like,
beer is not helping, but that's not the reason. You're not.
It's my Casey's.
No, it's not that either.
Not?
If you're in a good workout regimen, it matters much less.
Yeah.
I mean, people are gonna be pissed, but it just matters less than.
But yeah, I mean, I have a
lot
very
of really fit dudes that drink a lot of beer.
Yeah, but we have a lot of. I'm very active. We're very active, dude. And but like my working out, my running has fallen off a little bit. Been Peloton a little bit. Lifted yesterday, but I'm like So that's kind of
perfect plan is 4 lifts a week and 3 runs.
Yeah, I need some cardio. Definitely need a little more cardio for sure.
Me too.
When I'm in my flow state, I'm like doing at least 4 runs a week.
The best shape I've ever been in was no cardio. Just lifts. 5 a week.
Alrighty, well, this podcast, besides beer drinking, it's gonna discuss some juice, Tom. We're getting into the First Lite and KUIU debate. Why we switched. We've only had a couple hundred DMs.
Speaking of podcasts that aren't just full of BS,
yeah.
The Outdoor Creative Co-op podcast, I think it's only on Spotify, is really good. Those guys dig into tough to find answers, I'd say. Their first podcast gets into pricing and ethics.
That's juicy.
I mean, their pricing is a little different than a lot of outdoor media guys because it's like
higher.
It's higher, and they're doing a lot of day rate stuff.
Yeah,
a lot of guys like us, we might have
annual contracts.
Yeah, we might have like only 1 or 2 projects that are day rate a whole year. When they're doing that, I mean, they're doing that. I'm sure they have some annual contracts too, and they work with some great companies, and they have some great guests on. So, yeah, if you need another podcast to listen to, that's a good one. Yeah, we're gonna deep dive a little bit, not too much, into the
enough to satisfy your thirst. We got a lot of messages, all right? So we can address a lot of that. And
been First Lite boys.
We're pretty open
since I applied for their photo ambassador role in 2017.
Where'd you take that call, Tom?
On the pot.
Yep. I still remember it to this day. Thomas was on the phone talking to somebody in the bathroom, and I was out in the living room. I don't know what I did back then. No kids. Probably nothing. But came out. It was like, First Lite wants us to be photo ambassadors. What'd you think?
I was pretty excited. But
excited.
I didn't like their camo pattern at the time.
First Lite was a Western hunting camo.
Exclusive.
No whitetail hunter in America wore it. Pretty much.
Very few.
Pretty much. They wanted whitetail content. So
we were like, our strategy was to reach out to Western brands and tell them, you need whitetail.
It worked. That's how we kind of roped Onyx in. But it definitely I was thrilled. They were like the company, like, I mean, Meat Eater was already a thing. I don't know if they were combined. They weren't combined yet, but like Meat Eater was like already very
a little bit not
okay. It was still the show. It was still a show that people were really digging. Like it was already on Outdoor Sportsman. Like it was,
but like me, I thought
was Steve wearing it? 6 years
he was
ago?
wearing it for sure.
He was.
I mean, a year or two maybe.
Because they're on season. What are they on?
Was founded in
this fall? See,
was First Lite founded in 12 and 13? 2012 or 13?
I don't know.
That's bad. You should probably know that.
But like, just think about how Meat Eater seasons. They're in season 12 this fall. Season 6, were they wearing First Lite?
They were. I think
they were in it for sure. 8, 9.
I'm almost positive that they were. Yeah, but
like Cal wasn't there.
If you've been in the outdoor industry for the last 4 years, you don't understand the relationship then between First Lite and Meat Eater.
Yeah,
Meat Eater's been purchased for what? 3 years?
First Lite's been purchased
3 or 4 from Meat Eater. If you like.
Yeah. Anyways, we got on with them just to shoot some photos. What did we make that first year?
I asked Ford. I remember directly. I was like, can we move up in this relationship? And he's like, oh yeah, for sure.
Because all we were getting was 60% off camo, which was fine.
It's expensive. It's higher end camo, definitely.
It was fine for two guys that were just like trying to.
We didn't get a paycheck that first year from them, and we were fine with that.
We were fine with that. Looking back, like that's such a rip. Like how is but how can you feel good as a brand just being like,
I know,
let's just not pay these guys anything?
What are people supposed to do now? Because we say no to that. I mean, we also did have a Moss Yoga offer on the table, but
for cash.
Yeah, we didn't know what that number was though. We knew a lot of free camo, which we hadn't gotten ever. I was saying like if we said no to that,
yeah,
like we're not on the path we are today. But like, have we made it clear that being on this journey is not about making money? It's about sacrifice the whole time until you finally maybe make some money.
Yep. That's pretty much it. So we were cool with that. Good gear, way better than what we were wearing. What did we do that fall? That was 2017.
Back then, like they were still selling like their old patterns, like the stripy stuff. Mm-hmm. Like Fusion and Cypher.
No whitetail, no Spectre.
Fusion and Cypher were very new.
Yep.
Hushin was, I think, one of their partners still at that time. Mm-hmm. They didn't have a whitetail partner.
Like they didn't have Kenyon. They didn't have Newcomb. They didn't have Element.
Oh, they had Newcomb.
Did they have Newcomb? Oh, with Bear.
Yeah. Newcomb was an OG. Mm-hmm. But like not as an ambassador.
With the magazine.
Kind of affiliated a little bit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So yeah, we just sent them some content here and there.
More than they deserved.
Yeah, more than they deserved. Definitely over-delivered, but we like to do that for companies.
Yeah,
and shot some whitetails in their stuff, and then Did we get paid the next year?
Yeah, we're gonna tell people what that was.
Yeah,
$500.
we got paid $500.
I'm the finance guy. I know the numbers.
And then the year after that, we got paid
$1,000.
2019 $1,000. Oh man. And that's with like, okay, those first 2 years.
That's only 4 years ago.
The third year, we were like pushing back. I mean, we were at least coming at them with 5.
First Lite like was really getting on the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like we knew a whitetail pattern was coming.
We were being paid.
We knew that that's who we wanted to stick it out with for some time.
And we were being paid a lot more from other brands at that point.
Yeah, at that point. So it was a shot, but like we knew like if we just kind of battle it out, I feel like we were going to get in a good position to do something for them.
Yep. So I mean,
yeah,
the relationship.
I don't know how much we want to get into it, but we just wanted to have a bigger role in their whitetail stuff. Like we were some of their first guys shooting their whitetail content. I think Captured Creative was on at that point, probably.
Us and Captured. I just don't remember anybody else. Like the big people now, like obviously HB, they just got into it this year. Levi has only been on it for a few years. Breaking Point's been on it for a few years.
Breaking Point was that, like all those companies are after us.
Yeah.
They always, yeah. It was just like, they never fully accepted us as whitetail ambassadors.
Yep.
You know?
Definitely.
I think that
we and you and I both knew, like we both loved First Lite more than a lot of the companies you're working with, but at the back of our minds, we're both like, they're keeping us at an arm's reach.
But our photos are all over their website.
Because here's why. As a brand, you need exposure, and we're still small. I mean, we have 15,000 Instagram followers. It's like there's companies with hundreds of thousands, way more than us. But like we were there. I mean, us and Captured were their main content providers back then.
Still were.
Yep. You could still, by the way, you could still go to the First Lite website and find a picture of me and Tom on there, 100%. Haven't been on there for a couple weeks, but I know it's there. But I'm just like, we were the content guys, so it's like, when are we going to get acknowledged and get paid probably what we deserve for running your content for a big giant brand?
And then 2020 comes around, and we get 12 new hunters.
Yep.
Or 11.
Yep.
To buy a shizload of camo.
They bought just under $10,000 of camo because the guys there
with a
told us.
30% off discount that was given.
Yep. Our new hunters bought $10K. So we were like, oh, we should probably begin. I mean, we should get paid.
We heard
on
that
the phone.
Yeah.
We heard the exact number on the phone. And so we were like, oh, like we should be getting paid.
Those are just like direct. We know, like we're seeing people DMing us like all the time that we're getting a lot of people in the First Lite in the Midwest. Cause once again, it's still no big influencers are pushing First Lite in the Midwest, but we had like one of the first big First Lite gear review videos that was like our biggest one for a long time. It's like our first video to hit 20,000 views, like really quickly. Did big giveaways and just kind of got it in the Midwest for sure. So yeah, I mean, we did that thing but we were still like just scraping by financially with them. They're just very buttoned up financially. They were until 2023. They have their very narrow focus of where they want to spend their money, which it's worked. I mean, it's worked for them. They're a huge brand. Meat Eater's taken off. They've done things right, but we just never got where we needed to be and where we are with other brands with them. That's not too much to say. No, then they get bought by Meat Eater and a lot changes.
Yep. The thing about First Lite that we loved is the community. Man, loved people that worked there. I tried to get hired there. Like I wanted to get a job there. I wanted to be a social media manager.
You had a job offer.
I had an offer on the table. The last thing that needed to happen was for my family to move out to Idaho. Debated it for a long time.
Those resident tags would have been nice.
Couldn't get there though.
A little far from the 80.
A little far. So like I love the brand. Man, the Meat Eater folks, I mean, obviously we're really good friends with, I mean, Kenyon and Newharth and like everybody they have on board now. Like they had their Hootenanny last summer and it was great. Like the community they had there is really awesome. So that was like, thinking about the switch was just dicey just because of our friendships over there. But that's just something that doesn't change with the camera that you wear. You can keep those friends around.
Yeah.
But that was the thing, something that I really appreciated about First Lite, just that community.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously love the gear and stuff, but it was just, yeah. So when did the thought come up to possibly change brands? Last spring?
Not
Summer.
quite.
Last summer, right?
Yeah.
We had a different industry friend reach out to us and say, there's a brand that wants to work with you guys, but you have a competing sponsor. So I was like, who could that be? I was thinking like a bow company, or I don't know who else I was thinking. They're like, it's KUIU. I was like,
At this
big
point,
brand.
they're not in whitetail at all.
Nope, they're not. But I mean, big brand. I mean, huge brand.
Giant. Like, I don't think people quite understand how big.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Sitka, as far as following, has the biggest brand because they are in retail. But KUIU is like the number. Like, if you were to rank them out, KUIU's got to be the number one, I think.
For people in KUIU or people in the camo?
Loyalty. Like, they have pants that have like 11,000 reviews or something.
Yeah.
Like, they just have. If you go to anything Western, you're not seeing Sitka. You're seeing a tiny bit of First Lite, and then you're seeing KUIU Rams everywhere.
Yeah.
Like Western Hunt, that expo is a joke. Talking to other people, like, it just, people are wearing it. I think part of what First Lite had, and was really in position well with KUIU, was their direct to consumer, like only buy on their website.
Yep.
That just makes I think that makes a brand just more exclusive, and you draw close to that. I don't know how long Sitka has been in retail. I feel like it's been a while. We wore Sitka for one fall, 2016. Yeah. And we were buying their stuff in Shields at that point. So,
but yeah, I mean, that came on our radar.
You've got one brand, one main brand that is only direct to consumer. Yeah. And it's KUIU.
Yeah. My initial thought was like, oh man, I just don't know there's any way we can leave First Lite.
You were hard
I was
sell.
like, dude, I wanted to die in First Lite. Like, I just love the brand. I love the camo. And, but we had a call with our contact over there, and I realized.
Over where?
At KUIU. I was like, they pay their people. Like, you don't have to scrape by. Like, you don't have to be desperate. Sorry, but like
we don't know how
that was a shock.
How everybody else is doing on the First Lite sides of things.
They could be doing a lot better.
They have a lot of ambassadors. I'm sure they treat a lot of them well, but for some reason, every company holds value differently.
Yep.
You know, and they hold less value than just content creators.
Our median sponsor price that we get paid from our median sponsor.
You're gonna drop that right now?
No, I'm not dropping the numbers. First Lite was under half of what that is, and we were very clear with them what we needed, like, and it just could never get there. Which it's not. Again, we aren't like we need to be paid for what we are doing. That's our biggest thing, and that number wasn't there. We don't need to be like, we're not trying to make $1 million off this business. No, we just want to get paid for what we're working for.
Yeah,
and so that was kind of
honestly, we're gonna give a company, like, of course, like what we're agreed to in a contract. But if we're being paid well, you're gonna get more than that. Mm-hmm. You're gonna get full effort. What we feel like this is really worth. Mm-hmm. If we're being underpaid, then you're gonna get what the contract numbers say. Mm-hmm. Like, I that's something I've been paying attention to a lot more. Like, and kind of how it was with First Lite. Like, we're just like, we're being paid. Like, at a certain point, like our trips aren't being covered then.
Yep.
You know, if we're shooting just for you, like that's hard to do.
Yep. For sure. Yeah. I mean, but like the discussion about switching was just, we talked it over for a full year just because it was so hard. Like we went back, we were team, like, nope, we're staying with First Lite. We were team, nope, we're going with KUIU.
But there's one of us that was KUIU,
both times.
And there's one of us that was First Lite.
Majority of the time.
You didn't want to leave your boys.
I did not want to leave. I mean, up until some recent changes this spring. I mean, I was like, I don't know. It was going to be tough for me to go, for sure. But I mean, out of all the thought and discussion, we were like, this spring, we were like, we're probably going to get back on with First Lite.
Yeah.
But then some things happened with Meat Eater. It's public knowledge that they had to let some people go. They had to get a new CEO. Like, that's all. Google that.
Oh yeah, you can Google it, but a lot of people don't realize it.
Yeah. So a lot of
sad. A lot of buddies gone.
Really sad.
It was just a weird.
We had some tough ass phone calls that week with those folks. Super weird, man. So we were like,
out of
time
the
to
blue.
jump ship.
Out of the blue, like crazy.
Time to jump ship.
I think that's what was frustrating for those individuals. It's just like out of the blue, punch in the face.
Yep.
Gone.
So we were like, well, we need to.
Now's our time.
Let's get on to KUIU. Terminate things with First Lite, got on with KUIU, and haven't looked back. It's been great. Love the communication. Love the guys over there. Love the camo's been great so far. Really awesome gear. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, this stuff's way better than First Lite. First Lite's high end camo. First Lite's great. They're both elite camo companies.
I was texting our buddy Dylan about it because he's been wearing KUIU for a while. He's worn First Lite. We got him into some First Lite. KUIU's pants are the GOAT.
Yes, their pants are.
Their
pants crush First Lite
industry leading. Yeah, yep. And they have a ton of options.
Yep.
Should we tell a tidbit about the Trace pants?
Sure. I don't know where you're going.
Well, we'll just say that KUIU's had that exact technology for almost a decade.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, that's just any outdoor industry brand ripping off brands.
Yeah. First Lite's merino. I mean, they're very close merino. I think First Lite's, if I was to give a lean, it'd be 51% First Lite, 49% KUIU. The outer pieces, I'm leaning towards KUIU.
Their outer pieces are lighter.
They're lighter, and they're just like, they seem a little bit more durable, and I don't know. We'll see how all their whitetail stuff is.
We're still fresh on them for sure.
KUIU dropped their new Encounter line that I've worn once, and I really liked it.
We're gonna have to really we're gonna have to check their whitetail stuff out because I mean, First Lite, those bibs, they're bulletproof. They were like late season. I always talk about like it could be 10 degrees out. I'd be in my boxers underneath those Sanctuary bibs, warm, like toasty, like that. That's good gear. Mm-hmm. That is really good gear. So I'm really interested to see how the KUIU late season stuff holds up. For sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're coming out with just amazing stuff though.
The thing that we were really excited about with KUIU is like they don't they don't do pro staff stuff. Like you're not going to get on with them for pro staff, but they wanted some guys to lead their whitetail team. And like we are extremely honored and privileged to be able to like be some of those guys, of a very small team of content producers, but also giving feedback on their whitetail stuff and being able to really get it more in depth in the Midwest. I mean, it's got a really good start. I think people have been digging their whitetail stuff a lot.
So, I want this to be a more like open conversation about companies like ourselves switching brands and how that looks with other people in the audience.
That was a big debate about how our audience would. Yeah. We got how many people with First Lite, and now we're gonna be like switching over. Like that was a.
But before that, I want to just finish like our First Lite thoughts. Like we weren't considered whitetail pro team until 2022.
Barely, yeah, for sure.
And we were still doing. We were gonna go into a multi-year contract in 22, but we didn't. We ended up doing a 1 year. Mm-hmm. And First Lite has very, very strict rules on new product And for the reason we left, honestly, like for that very reason. They want you to be multi-year to see anything unreleased or anything in the hopper.
Yes. The confusing thing for us,
we were given a different, like they waived that with us though. Mm-hmm. We were probably the only people whose contract ended in 6 months when we were at the Hootenanny.
Yep.
You know,
so we saw products out to 2024, 25. Mm-hmm. We saw that stuff. And
we're good dudes. We're not going to go to KUIU and saying, hey, this is, be watching for this. No,
it's not a thing.
Our brand would cease to exist if we did anything like that. I don't know. It was just weird because I'm so upset. I broke this pen.
You guys know, like, the thing that was really hard for us, I think, towards the end with First Lite, only the last year or two, was just how much we were pushed to put stuff out and market things. We didn't want our page to be sell First Lite. They just have a lot of that.
Very heavy sales push.
The issue there is they weren't sending us the stuff we needed to push out. They were asking us to push out products that we had never used before because for some reason they couldn't get it to us.
They'd usually be like, hey, like if you don't have it, like let us know.
Kind of.
But then you're still getting it after the sale's done, you know?
Yeah. Like there are products that have been out for a few years that we never saw. Mm. And they're like, push this link. I'm like, I'm not going to put a good word in for something that I've never really used. I just don't like that. I want to have hands-on experience so I can actually tell people what it's like.
They were sending like semi-mass emails though. Yeah. So they weren't like, oh, Tom and Nate, they don't got it.
Yeah.
They were going to include us. It was a grind with them. I mean, I thought we always treated them really well. Those are some of the last words we heard from them is they always loved the photo work we did, especially. I mean, you can see our videos in their YouTube ads.
I mean, we truly loved working with First Lite. Mm-hmm. I mean, they were one of our favorite brands, and just the people that they had shooting that for a company that we like really respected. People we respected. It was great. It's just like sometimes you got to make a business decision that is just for the business and see how the chips fall. And this just was we don't change sponsors ever. This is our first one we've ever changed. Besides, I mean, tree stands this last year, we just switched up a little bit.
It's just hard because some companies,
and we've had other people.
Some companies just don't value work like they should. Yeah. Like there's one example. Maybe have I said it on the podcast before? I had a company reach out and they sent like all the deliverables that they wanted. It was like 2 reels a month, like probably 100 some photos
a month.
Big ask. No, not a month, for a year.
Okay.
But like a lot of companies are less than that.
Yeah.
So, I was like, I'll price this out for you. Like you're looking around like, well, actually he had a number on there already. For all that stuff, it was about $1,600
for the year.
That's the price of one reel, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So I told him, I was like, hey, you got to be respectful because some people don't know. There's a small group that like just like undervalues it, but I was like, hey, this work is probably around 40 grand. Like we can do it for you, but we're going to need about 38 more thousand. Mm-hmm. And he was like, he actually apologized. He's like, I'm just getting into it. And I heard that actually from another creator that I was like dramatically low. So you just got to be upfront, like, and honest about, and know what you're worth. You know, yeah. I think like we've got those numbers now. We got a media kit. We know what we feel good about with projects, but it's okay to switch brands. You know, I remember just back growing up when it was basically outdoor TV that you could follow. There weren't people like us near as much. I'd always be like, whoa, like they switched. That's huge. Like, yeah. How could they do that? They had the relationships over there, but you see it so often. Like we talked to our buddy Sam Solho a little bit, just cause he made the switch from Sitka to First Lite, and we asked him how that whole situation went for him. And, I mean, it's fine. People understand that that's business, and we don't regret anything we did over at First Lite. We don't regret getting people into camo, like all the things that we did over there. It just, you got to make smart business decisions. And if you're somebody that follows along and sees a brand you enjoy, change something, not every year. I mean, if you're switching constantly, then there's something there. Like maybe there's some relationship issue or some communication deal that's just not quite right.
But yeah, I mean, if you're sick and tired of your First Lite stuff, you got to go upgrade to KUIU.
You've just been dropping bombs.
Nah, I'm just kidding. But seriously, you got to at least go give it a good hard look on the website. It's sweet.
They got.
I'm not telling you to sell your fresh Spectre First Lite. Don't. That's great gear. Wear it until you're ready to move on or you want to sell it, and get you some KUIU. Just try it out.
Yeah, I like what KUIU's got going on over there. To my knowledge, it's just a smaller team, and they've got great product development and I don't know, some great things in the hopper. They just dropped waterfowl.
Yep.
But yeah, we also made the Novix switch
from XOP.
We were just doing a little bit of stuff with XOP. It was just another.
Yep.
We were trying to negotiate with XOP a little bit, and it was a similar situation, I'd say. And Novix had reached out earlier in the year when we were still with XOP, and you just gotta, like, we have companies reach out mid-year a lot, but you always got to be respectful of the contract terms that you're in. Mm-hmm. So,
yep, for sure. Yeah, but that should answer a lot of folks'. Not sure if that's a word.
First Lite. It's just they're a meat eater brand now.
Yep.
You can tell. You look on their social. They're not like, whether it's good or bad, they're not who they were even 3 years ago. They're a completely different brand. For good and bad. I mean, they're in Shields now. Mm-hmm. You know, they.
Our buddy Thompson is worried about that Shields leap. Yep. Thinks their gear is going to go to garbage. I don't think that's going to happen, but.
It hurt a little bit seeing that. I'm like, God, like, just because.
Why?
Just because they're not who they were.
They're just not as exclusive.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think it's not gonna change their gear.
No,
I think it'll just more people are gonna
be great.
I think more people are gonna see it. I mean,
yeah.
In Shields, I love Shields.
Yeah. Keep interrupting me, man.
Wasn't trying to interrupt you. Sorry. Talking about we went the Novix route, and then
that's back. Like
you
10
went
minutes.
back to First Lite about Shields.
I think I was just that there's like a meat eater brand now.
Yeah. Action.
Our buddies over at Capture Creative are gone now too, because I think they must have also seen like they're just not investing in.
The brands that
they're not investing in outside creators anymore.
Yeah,
they're investing in the influencer type.
Yep.
Our buddies, the Heartland Bowhunter guys who we're really close with, they just switched to First Lite, and I was talking to Sean about this, so he knew that like we thought we were kind of being undervalued over there.
Yeah. And I mean,
so they must have gotten a good deal. I know that that's important to them, you know.
Yeah.
So they must pay their influencers well. You got.
They must.
You got Sold over there. You got Ben Benamani. You've got. It just First Lite's page now is Meat Eater. It's a continuation of Meat Eater.
Oh, this is where I was going to go. Like even we worked with FHF Gear, a Meat Eater company, and just getting paid through them was nearly impossible as well. Just because the Meat Eater sees it as we have content people in house. We don't need to pay other guys. Which, if that's the case, then that's the case. But they used all of our photos. Like we were the main content contributor besides, I bet, Seth, shooting a lot of that stuff for FHF Gear.
If you look on their website, we're all their fob pics.
We're all their waterproof
Tac mountain rifle case.
Yeah. So it's like
they just don't have those resources anymore. Yeah. And when Rick texts us, hey, I'm sending you a product and
we need pictures in 2 hours.
Yeah. They don't have that. They like, oh, sorry, Steve's not on a trip right now. is what they get now.
Yeah.
Because they don't have photo guys. They got video guys doing photo.
Yep.
You know?
And our buddy over there, Rick, he moved. He's doing firefighter stuff now too, but he knows what we needed to get paid. He respects photo and video work a lot. And he's just like, guys, I just don't, like, it's just hard to do that when you're working with a big, massive media company. So
yeah.
Still a media guy. Love him. I think it is still like one of the best shows in the outdoor industry for sure. I mean, Steve, you can't replace Steve. Like Ranella is Ranella. He's going to be Ranella. The brands, like how they do their brand stuff, that's all them. But Ranella is Ranella, and people are going to flock to him wherever he goes because he has the mind of.
He's doing good for hunting.
He's doing very good for hunting, and I will always support him. Always. So.
What else you want to get
Got any other shade? I don't have a lot. Send us any questions, info@identicaldraw.com.
We're going to be doing a recap on elk. Do you want to give like a
Elk was tough.
Elevator pitch?
Elk was tough, but we learned a lot. I think every year you go at elk, you just learn. That is it. That's all I want to say. It was tough hunting. We learned. And then what did we do after that?
Shot a nice muley.
Yep.
Shot
a nice muley.
Couldn't go to Idaho. Our motto every time we go out west on our hunts is like we need one of two successful hunts.
Yep. Yeah, we had to switch. We couldn't do the Idaho trip because my family was
on their deathbed.
I think we had COVID come through. Never tested because I think testing for COVID's dumb, but had COVID come through. And the kids, I got obviously a 8-month-old pretty much and almost a 3-year-old, and they just got it bad. My wife got it bad, so I was like, I can't go to Idaho right now. Need to make a switch up. And there's only one place that I love pretty much more than anywhere, and that's the Sand Hills.
It was my tag, bugs. And you made up for it by getting us some private land permission. A piece that we've been looking at
for a while.
Next to buddies that have also let us hunt.
Yeah, we'll get into that on the next podcast or next two. So, but a note to the followers who listen and watch. We appreciate you guys a lot. I mean, like the people that really follow us, our brand, it's pretty awesome. But we were worried about backlash a little bit, and we didn't get a single message of backlash, which we appreciate a lot. And we also just like understand that if we got you into First Lite, like I hope you just know that we have good head on our shoulders, and we want you to wear whatever you want to wear, whatever you think is the best gear. We're never going to tell you something that isn't true about any brand, whether it's bows or arrows or camo, optics. Like we're always going to tell you the good and the bad. And that's why we're here with this podcast. But seriously, we appreciate all you guys. And if you have KUIU questions, hit us up. Check out their new stuff at KUIU.com. And
so often, like people just need a resource in the industry. So if you're listening to this and we can be that for you, let us know. I mean, we're trying to be that by opening up more in this podcast, you know, I mean, getting into some more of the detail stuff. Of course, we'd keep everything private, but if you have any questions, just hit us up on the DMs or the email, and we'll get to you.
We're open.
Yep,
for sure. That's pretty much it. See you guys on the next one.
Awesome.